We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with you two.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage and enjoy the show. Good evening from Swansea, South Wales, wrestling fans. You are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, and today we have an action-packed show for you because we are answering all of your hot takes that you guys have submitted to us about Survivor Series, and we do have quite a few really hot ones, so I'm looking forward to getting into those. But before we do, and I've been going back and forth for a few hours about whether or not I want to discuss this on air, but I think it is important. Why do Wrestling Republic hate wrestling so much? We don't. Why do Wrestling Republic only talk about AEW when top WWE stars are involved? We don't. Yet those are the two comments which I see the most on our page. And you can say whatever you want about me. You can disagree with my opinions. Feel free to. I enjoy it. You can make fun of me, whatever. I'm just really glad that I have this platform where I can talk to all of you on, and I really appreciate that you guys watch and enjoy us, at least hopefully. But the one thing that I will not tolerate is just lies being spread about Wrestling Republic, the business which I have helped to build. Because people have been commenting, saying about all this negativity stuff. In reality, way under half of our reels are negative in any capacity. The vast majority are really positive. We talk about AEW all the time, and mid-card AEW stars all the time as well. We talk about international wrestling all the time as well. But the reason I think why people maybe don't see it is because Instagram likes to post the negative stuff. It likes to post the stuff which people interact with the most in the few minutes when the post is originally posted. So I reckon, my theory is maybe the first 1,000 people to see a post, it'll then decide whether to show it to more people or not. And therefore, posts which get more likes, which are, for example, AEW ones, which aren't about former WWE stars, or takes which are really positive, I think less people see them for that reason. But don't think that we're always negative, because we're factually not. And I absolutely hate to see that comment, because all the work, the hours of work every day I put into this, it kind of tarnishes that. And I love that I get to do this and all of it, but don't come claiming that, because it ain't true. But also joining me today, because we're going to be answering some of your hot takes, we do have Clark Taylor, someone else who's got a lot of heat this week. But in your case, Clark, a lot of it is Mr. Cody Rhodes.
I'm ready to hang out. I'm stoked. Hand up, by the way, if you're talking about me negativity-wise, you know what? 60-second clips, you can take whatever you want out of that. But if you watch Wrestling Republic, there's no group of people that love professional wrestling more in this industry. And that is an absolute fact. I do appreciate everybody that comments. But like Ben said, we love this business. And at the end of the day, we talk about it every single day. So if one clip out of a bundle stands out to you and bothers you, I understand that. But let's disagree with our wrestling opinions. Let's not question the fandom or anything like that, because it's a silly argument that's no fun in the first place. And that's not why we do this. We're here to provide our opinions to fans and spotlight fans' opinions like we do every Monday on Mailbag Monday and things like that. So feel free to disagree, but I am 100% with Ben on that, guys. Let's make sure we remember how fun this is and that we're all passionate about pro wrestling here at WR.
Absolutely. Really well said, Clark, because that is exactly it, right? Feel free to disagree with us all you want. You can call us delusional all you want. That's all good. But just don't try and claim that we're doing stuff for clicks and stuff when we love wrestling, right? And we love to do this. Well said, says Aunt You, and Fernando Zayas with a lovely comment saying the folks who are complaining don't watch the stream. and the complaints don't match what really happens on the show. And that is exactly true, Fernando. And thank you so much for watching every day. And that is why I was kind of reluctant to say it on this show, because it's not really the people who watch this show every day who it's really about. But I thought this is probably the best avenue to do it and then clip it up from here. But we really do appreciate all you guys who watch. Millennial Noob in the comments. We got Zach in the comments as well saying National Game and Puzzle Week and Better Conversations Day. We've started off with a great conversation here at TCX Warlord revealing Ant legit flew to Hogwarts on his stream today. Really interested what that's about. But also joining us today, we have somebody who has yet to experience the hate from fans because everybody on this show loves her. How are you, Angie?
Good afternoon, Wrestling Republic universe. How are we all doing? Man, I am so excited to be here for Mailbag Monday again. And I I know at some point I know I'm not going to be immune to hate or anything like that, but I think with the short time that I've been here, I've been keeping it real with you guys the best way I can. Yeah, I'll say something to kind of like see if I can get a laugh at something just to, get it out there, testing the waters and everything. But all in all, I love being part of this team because of the fact of how passionate everyone is. And I'm glad that I can match that energy with everyone here, especially these wonderful guys here as well.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Angie. And let's get straight into the mailbag and some of the takes which you guys have submitted straight up out of the bag today. Our first take is from Dimi Sass J83110. Sorry, I butchered that. Who says 2 turns inside of War Games. Jay heel and Brock versus Braun begins. So he's saying that Jey Uso is going to turn heel, and then Brock Lesnar is going to turn on Braun Breaker. Clark, what's your thoughts?
Well, it is in Southern California, so if you know In and Out, a double is available for a really good price. But at the same time, this isn't a double cheeseburger. Not this time. Absolutely not. Nobody in the wide world of sports is ready for Brock Lesnar to turn babyface. So that's not going to happen. The likelihood of Jay turning heel, I think, okay, that's possible. I don't know why you would. If you go to one of these events, WWE wise this year, and I've been to a Raw, the Rumble, Mania, and Money in the Bank, I'm about to go to Survivor Series. The crowd is filled with kids wearing Yeet shirts. I understand the heel turn has been teased. I just do not believe that is the route you should go. I don't think either one happens at the end of the day. If you're asking for my prediction, I think it's a hot take, and I get that, and no disrespect, but I do think that there's a better chance of Jay turning than Brock. But I also, if I'm a betting man, which I would never on professional wrestling, but if I was, hypothetically speaking, Jey Uso would be more likely to turn than Brock Lesnar.
Wow, okay. Now that's where I disagree with you. I think Lesnar's more likely, but where I agree with you is I don't think there's a chance in hell either of these are happening. Because I think a lot of fans who've gotten their hopes up here are going to be let down badly. Because I don't think Jay's turning. I don't think Lesnar's turning. I think more than likely they are going to eventually run back Reigns and Lesnar with the roles reversed, I guess, from last time. And yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything out of the ordinary here. I do just think it's going to be a straight up Vision win. But Angie, what's your take?
Look, at this point with the men's War Games match, I'll take either one, honestly. Anything to get me a little bit more invested because, and I know I'm probably in the minority when I say this, but this year's War Games just kind of feels like a patchwork job because they realized they didn't have like 5 people on each side with like an actual like full on feud like we've seen in the past. And I kind of feel bad about it because like I used to be really excited for these because it's war games. We don't get a lot of we don't really get a lot of stipulation matches now that I think about it. Or at least not anymore. So like Jay turning heel, I would be invested. Braun versus Brock, then yeah, go for it. But I don't know. It might happen, might not happen. Um, with the way that it feels a little on the safe side, I doubt that they'll do it now. Like, hear me out for a second. If they do something like this, I feel like SummerSlam. Oh my gosh, I get getting my pay-per-views mixed up. Survivor Series isn't the place to really do this. I feel like if anything, this will be something that will be stretched out until the Rumble. Because then it'll start the road to WrestleMania. Then you can really build up that story properly and make it that big deal. Because right now it's not that much of a big deal, in my opinion.
I think that's a very fair opinion as well, and it is something we are going to talk about later on in the show, and I think we will need to dig into that a lot more then as well, because a lot of people are feeling the exact same way as you on that one, Angie. Donnie says, historically, it's pretty rare for war games to be a faction of 5 versus another faction of 5. Often one faction versus 5 faces with common enemies, or like this match. And that is true. And I will actually defend this match to a degree because Seth Rollins got injured. Like, that messed up a lot of their plans for this match. Now,
Changed everything.
Even still, I do think LA Knight should be in this. And again, I'm not an LA Knight guy, but that was the story they were telling. And suddenly, they're not telling it anymore. I'm a little confused on that one. I don't really think Cody should be in this match. I understand Logan's now part of the Vision, but even still, that's a little bit strange to me. But DCX Warlord does have a good point. Brock has turned on every partner he has ever had. And long term, Clark, I mean, surely it is going to be Braun.
It's not going to be a babyface run, though. If he turns, it's got to be in a weird way, like he just turns on the team and he's still somehow the heel, and it's not time for the Vision to be babyfaces. So I don't know what we do with that.
Yeah.
The better point that DCX Warlord made is that he said that I've been wearing the same hat all week, which is unfair. I did wear a
No, he
white
didn't.
hat the other
No,
day.
he didn't. He said that he started a hat counter, and this is technically the first day of the week. So we're up to one hat because you're wearing
we're at
one.
Yeah, okay. I was going to make sure because I was going to give myself a little credit here. I have 2 of the same hat. So I haven't been like just wearing the exact same one.
Wait, why do you have 2 of the same hat?
That's a long story. That's just the way that it worked out at the time that I got the hats. Like it's a complicated thing. I was getting the hats for free at one stage.
Oh,
so
okay. Actually, that's a lot better. If they're free, that's a lot more.
So like they give you 2 of each of the styles or whatever, and like the thing that's frustrating is the lighter colored ones wear out quicker. So I have to like be careful. I have to like, and those I really love like the Cinnamon Toast Crunch one's my favorite, and like I have to be like cautious about when I wear them now because I can't get the hats anymore.
We're going to need Chaos to make a new intro. This is Hat Republic. But Tony says, I think there's better odds of Clark wearing Cody Rhodes merch all week than if there's 2 turns in the match. It's not happening, Donnie. I agree with you. Neither are. We got more love for Angie in the comments as well. And Melissa giving us all a shout out. Thank you very much, Melissa. And DCX Warlord putting out buy one, get one free type of deal of Clark. I think it was get 2 free. I think this deal was.
It was it was a hats thing.
It was a hats thing. Oh gosh, but we will talk more about War Games cages later because I actually I got a few points I want to get into as well. But up next, guys, our next. Why are you laughing up so much, Clark?
Fernando said dye your hair blonde, Clark. I'm like, I don't have any, dude.
There's some. There's a little.
On the sides.
There's a little going strong still.
I'm not doing a Hogan skullet no matter how. I love Fernando to death. Thank you for tuning into the show, but I'm not going full Hogan skullet as a bald guy. There's no way. I'm not doing that.
That is absolutely gold. Right. Up next, guys, time to put our hand back in the bag because the next take is from Giovanni Cheese, and he says the traditional Survivor Series match on SmackDown should have opened Survivor Series. So instead of putting it on SmackDown, he wants it on Survivor Series. And this is an opinion which quite a few people have been also sharing this week. So, Clark, I want to get your take on it.
This is a tough one because there's quite a bit of logic that makes sense in the Survivor Series matches, not on Survivor Series. It's on SmackDown. Like that, if you just look at it that way, that doesn't quite add up. They are sort of billing it as Survivor Series War Games as they have for quite some time now. I mean, look, the way we opened the show, I don't want to open a can of worms here, but how many AEW shows have been criticized for having too many multi-people matches at the end of the day? And if you end up with the 2 War Games matches and a traditional Survivor Series match on the same card, what do we get? 1 or 2 singles matches? I mean, if you add a tag match, it's all multi-people matches and maybe 1 singles match at most. That's where I think in this situation, it does make sense. It is just odd that they're calling it a traditional Survivor Series match on a SmackDown that was pre-taped. It's not even like in town for Survivor Series. They're not doing it to like kick off the show in San Diego. That's where I'm super thrown off. If it was to like kick off the weekend in San Diego, professional wrestling, and like, yeah, it's Survivor Series weekend, so boom, you could do that on SmackDown. I have no problem with that, right? That feels like the start of the Thanksgiving tradition here in the States and whatnot. That is Survivor Series on a Friday. That may be the case given that it was taped, though. It's not necessarily going to feel like it in town necessarily. In San Diego, you got to do something else Friday night if you're coming in early during the holidays and whatnot. And for me, I don't necessarily believe that match should. I don't know that it should have totally happened, other than that I love Sami Zayn. Like, I don't know that it should have been booked in the first place. I just hope that it turns out to be very, very, very good.
Fair enough. And we got an interesting comment here from Donnie saying the Survivor Series pay-per-view was built on multi-person matches in an era where there was rarely anything of the sort other than a regular tag. The audience is no longer into that match format. That is where I'm going to I completely agree with the first half of that. Obviously, it's a fact. But the second half of it, I'm going to slightly disagree, right? As a newer fan, as somebody who's only been watching technically I've been watching for 15 years now, so I guess I'm not really a newer fan, but I feel like a younger fan at least. And that is that I'm not really into 5v5 matches, and I've always said that. But the one which I used to be into was Survivor Series because it felt special, it felt unique, and I've missed it, to be completely honest here.
To your point, the elimination aspect, when that was introduced, and it's not just a definitive finish, like it's 5-on-5 and then one person pins one person and everybody else lost, right? Or everybody else half won, half lost. The elimination aspect, the uniqueness of that, I think is worth it. I think it'd actually be incredible if they introduced it to the War Games format.
Well, I don't know how I feel about eliminations in War Games. I don't know.
You could only do one, I think, and it would have to be like the perfect story told. But I've been curious about that my whole life, what that would look like.
You have to get people out of the cage each time. I know they do that with the elimination chamber.
I get that. I get that. That's the problem, is the elimination chamber exists. But for a team one where it then you can sort of get down to like you know what it would be a way to do is a title match where the title doesn't change hands to put over like a baby face. If you were going to do an elimination match, this is hypothetical too. I'm not saying this year, absolutely not. That would be awful. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm already going to be blindfolded for the men's match, so
you're not going to see it anyway. But one thing I will address, this comment by Donnie as well, saying the Survivor Series almost never had any story, and I didn't really mind that. It's when it's War Games. War Games is meant to be like a big story match. And now they've not really got much story. I mean, again, this year, I understand there's been obstacles, all that. But Fernando says that he misses the classic 5-on-5 matches with main eventers. And DZX Warlord bringing up a brilliant thing here. 6 years ago, Roddy Strong, Nakamura, AJ Styles at Survivor Series 2019, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. That pay-per-view was absolutely delightful. I loved it. I truly, truly did. And we got, and you saying they gave us the best matches that year. It was beautiful. New fans need to see that. They absolutely do. And I don't actually hate the idea of that being the case, that maybe once every 2-3 years we do Raw, SmackDown, NXT. But more on that a little bit later on. Because up next, guys, we need to move on to the next question. Actually, before we move on to the next question, very quickly, this Thursday's Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, the Thanksgiving special, will be taking place at a different time to usual. It will be 6 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and that is 10 a.m. Pacific time.
And
So
7 a.m.
we-
for our good friends in Hawaii.
Absolutely. So there's a bit of a time change that day. As for the rest of the schedule this week, it's all normal, but just for Thanksgiving, a little bit of a time change while everybody in America is giving thanks to something. I don't know what you actually are giving thanks to be honest. I have no idea.
Oh, we just all eat and watch football. It's my favorite holiday, but I don't, the history part, but we'll leave that.
The whole thing nowadays is that it's more the being thankful for the people around you, being able to have those times where you can say like, hey, I'm happy that you guys are all here, that kind of thing. And it's giving thanks to another year of togetherness, giving thanks to the friends that we've made, that kind of thing. That's why a lot of people now just say Friendsgiving dinners and things like that. It's more of the togetherness of everything now.
Yeah, that's what it's
same
about.
thing with Christmas as well. It's more of a togetherness thing as well, and being merry.
Donnie hit us with Thanksgiving was last month, but that's just because Canadians are trying to put their Christmas lights up early.
Gosh,
That's what I've always said.
Yeah, we don't have anything like that.
Canadians,
I think in the UK,
Canadians
we
are just trying to put their Christmas lights up early. That's the truth. Everyone knows that.
in the UK, I think we should get drunk and party anyway. That's just an average week, really.
That's just a Thursday.
Yeah.
Listen, the Christmas lights don't go up until after the Jolly Fat Man is appearing in the parade. That is the rule.
You ever done
Well, no, my rule
SantaTracker.com?
is nobody celebrates Christmas until after my birthday, which is tomorrow. So nobody can celebrate Christmas until Wednesday, and then feel free to. But up next, let's go back into the mail. The next question is from I can't even say these names today, honestly. The next question submitted says that John should retain. He's retiring in a month, and it won't mean nothing knowing he got pinned a few weeks ago by Dominic Mysterio. I disagree, and I disagree with a passion. And the reason being is I am convinced that Gunther is winning this tournament, and Gunther under no circumstances can have another IC title reign. So for that reason, I'm fine with Dom winning. I'm certain it won't be clean. But Angie, what's your take?
Oh my god. So if they do decide to do it like this, I kind of would love the idea of him basically doing the same thing as CM Punk and just keeping the title and just out the door. That would be really cool. But to the point of just like retiring with the belt is actually really funny to me. But with the fact that we have no restraints Gunther over here, I'm a little concerned. Because it does look like I have to agree with Ben. Like, I feel like Gunther will win this entire thing and then just beat John Cena. And then that'd be the end of it. But if they decide to I'm not even thinking about Dom, honestly. Like,
Wow,
I know
what
a lot
did
of
Dom
people
do to
really.
you?
Do you want the list?
What?
Do you want the list? You know what? I haven't done the list in a
Dominic
while.
Mysterio rant. Let's do this. What has Dominic Mysterio done to make you this angry at him?
No, because like it's to a point where like, yes, he's a great heel because he's making me feel things. Like, you know, the idea of a little bit of violence in his direction. I can't say the exact thing because I would like for us to be able to still keep doing these. But all in all, he's like, oh gosh, this is a hot take. He kind of gives that whole like early Miz kind of feel to him. Like he's this rookie that is too big for his britches. He goes ahead and like puts himself as like the best at everything. It's almost like Austin Theory all over again, but like done right. That's my hot take for today.
Done right, at least. Done right, at least.
Yes, absolutely done right. Because like when I look back at the whole Austin Theory thing, like they were trying to capture the whole Drew McIntyre thing again, and then try to kinda almost have it to where Drew's like looking at him going, was I really this bad? But like it didn't work the way that they hoped it would, because like to me, honestly, I got tired of him so quickly.
Fair enough.
Like at least the Miz actually kept me like entertained. Like he's good at what he does. He's a great heel.
Oh, he is. He is. Yeah.
And I like the fact,
but he is.
and I like the fact that Dom is almost kind of following that same pattern, not to the T, but like it is following that like snarky, oh, I'm better than everyone kind of thing, like that kind of usual wrestling stereotype of the hot shot. That's the one I was thinking of, the hot shot character.
Fair enough. I mean, we got a few comments here I want to address. We got Donnie saying people are going to eventually realize Dom is an unbelievable worker, and Miz in his early days had changed the channel heat, while Dom has I want to scream at him heat. Aunt You says Dominic Mysterio is the greatest luchador of all time. He's been to jail, beat up his dad, and cheated on multiple women. He's one charge away from being a 90s rapper.
No, stop.
Outstanding. He is. He's one away. He went on First Take and told him what was up
Comment of the week. Comment of the week.
I'm telling you right now, if it comes down to it and John Cena retains his title, and after a career synonymous with the last stone unturned, finally, outside of we got the little distraction of him breaking the Flair mark with 17 titles.
Mm-hmm.
Was that he never won the IC title. And if his last match is about the IC title, that is goofier than a football bat in my eyes. You've got to be kidding me. It makes no sense. And not only that, I called Dominic Mysterio Stewie Griffin yesterday. I actually have to shout out. I didn't realize Sam Roberts called him Bart Simpson. So we're all making cartoon references. It cracks me up. We're all finding cartoon villains, like pseudo villains that we can compare Dom to at this stage. But Dom in San Diego, he's got to win this title here. I do think they can do it in a way where we still get the big great Cena reception leaving Petco Park. And man, I'm starting to get so excited for this, guys. I saw the way that they've built out this ballpark. It's one of my favorite ballparks in Major League Baseball. The way that it's built out, the way the setup's going to be, is going to be one of the hottest, most electric, unique venues for a show. It is going to be scorching, and it's going to be packed to the gills. They're already selling standing room only tickets, so you can stand on the concourse and watch. And it's that part of it I'm excited about, to not utilize the fact that Dom is born and raised in San Diego, and we know it.
Yeah,
this weekend I would be so disappointed, because it is time. He's gotten so fun with the shenanigans and what he does that I want to root for him. It's Eddie Guerrero-esque.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a split crowd, but at the same time, Cena's about to retire, so I don't know.
You gotta be careful with San Diego on that split crowd, by the way, my friend. I will say this.
I'd love it if one final time John Cena got booed. I'd love it. That would be amazing. Cena would love it. Everyone would love it, I think.
I think you'll actually have the real split. where it's
Okay.
like the old school split too. Not necessarily booed, but like
Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. Yeah.
Yes, I do think Petco Park can deliver that with Dom.
Let's do it.
I
That would be
truly
perfect for his
believe
last
that.
pay-per-view match.
Yeah, I
That
know,
would
with all
be
my heart.
perfect.
It would be
Perfect.
outstanding. I truly believe that's like that's the last venue of the two. I don't think
Yeah.
you'll see that in DC, right? That's
No
going to be
way.
too
We haven't seen
passionate.
it in ages, haven't we?
I
don't
do
think.
I think you can see that at Petco.
Okay, right. Main event time, guys, because our last question of the day is from Jordan L. Keys, who says, War Games is so boring, it's been done to death. I'm going to go solo camera for a second, guys, because I have a take here. I think WWE should take War Games off of Survivor Series. I think Survivor Series should return to Raw versus SmackDown, and then once every 3 years, you add NXT into the mix as well. I want a harder brand split between all those brands. I want less of these crossovers and more brand supremacy. It's always a lot of fun and very different to the rest of the year in WWE when that Survivor Series happens in that format. Now, as for War Games, I'd only bring it out when it makes sense, like they're doing with Hell in a Cell now. I'd bring it out maybe once every 18 months or somewhere around that, so you don't know when it's going to be, but when it happens, there's a justifiable storyline for it. That way, we will have less people saying that War Games is getting repetitive, but also, I think we will return to the fun, traditional 5v5 and brand warfare, which fans seem to like so much now, and I'm going to be honest, I miss it. So that is my hot take, I guess. But Angie, I want to get yours.
I'm gonna have to actually agree with this because of the fact that, like, the War Games matches, like, I absolutely love them. I love the idea of how the War Games matches are, but at the same time, I do also miss the traditional elimination tag match. Like, it used to be to where, like, it was an easy story, brand supremacy. That's all it was. And then they could build up on that. Like, you already had the concept there. All you have to do is just build on it. But nowadays, it's just the War Games matches doesn't really feel like it has a lot at stake here. And I feel bad about it because of the fact I know in the past we've been able to make those moments where there was those times where it actually had the stakes there. Like, but now it's just like, hey, so I don't like you, you don't like me, but we also really don't like this dude all the way over there. So let's beat him up together. They're fleshing out the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and it's stale. It's so stale. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm actually at a point where, like, me myself, I might just skip over war games this year because of the fact that it's boring. Like, it's nothing really there. Like, it's like having a burger with no type of seasoning on it. Like, you got your lettuce, tomato, pickles on it, but it's a burger. It's like there's nothing spectacular about it. And it's horrible that I feel this way because I love the stipulation matches like this. And now I have to sit here and pretend like I care because I'm like, maybe I will eat my own shoe. Please, just let me eat my own shoe. Give me a reason to eat the shoe. But no.
Fantastic rant. And a lot of people are feeling the same way. I mean, personally, I want to be honest. I am excited for it because I'm excited for War Games, right? And I do think the matches will deliver. But there are, and Donnie in the comments as well is saying that, like, it only happens once a year. How is it too stale? I agree to an extent, but the fact is a lot of the audience don't agree. A lot of people in our comment sections, a lot of people in WWE's comment sections are saying the exact same thing. And when that much of your audience is saying it, I mean, you have to take it into account at that point. You really, really do. And I mean, Aunt you were saying traditional 5v5 Survivor Series matches gave us superstars like The Undertaker and The Rock. Just saying. That's a good point as well. But Clark, I want to get your perspective on this.
So this one's funky to me because I love War Games and the idea of it. William Regal saying it, although that's a bit played out these days. Shoot. Every single time, like the guys are talking, who's going to walk in from the side and yo, War Games? It's going to be Regal. Happens every year. The predictability is the problem. The fact that we know it exists, that we know it's going to happen. There's no shock value to how Regal says War Games. We're banking on the fact that he says it cool. Which is okay. That's fine. I love it. It's like brand name from Regal. We've been waiting for it, but I don't know if anybody besides me watched Blood and Guts a few weeks back. War Games, they put a lid on War Games in that match, and you will not see that level of violence at War Games in San Diego. You won't. Not in either match. No chance. Absolutely not. That is the biggest threat to War Games in the WWE, in my eyes, is if you start to make the direct comparison and you're giving one away for free on cable TV pretty much. And then the other one, the PLE, you got to sign up. We got to get ESPN. We got to do the whole 9. And it's going to be less. We know it's going to be Legos, not tax, right? It's not going to be as violent. War Games sounds violent. Blood and Guts sounds violent too. By comparison, it's not the same. I think that's a bigger problem and a bigger threat to War Games and the execution of War Games than the concept itself on Survivor Series. It is once a year. We also know when the one time a year is. They tell us in advance. It's Thanksgiving weekend. So for the last few weeks, we're sitting there looking who's going to team up. Like we get our once a year wave of booking of who's going to be on the same team. And what do we do about it? That's fine, but it's predictable. It's very predictable. And then when you have an injury like Seth Rollins that throws mud into this entire situation, and you have things like that, you run into even more trouble because, by the way, between the men's and the women's War Games matches, both happening on the same card, there's always one that everyone's like, well, that one was thrown together. The other has a storyline. Even if you can only hit 50% half the years. And that's the hardest part to me. I almost think there should just be one War Games match.
I don't like that idea. I mean, I don't know. But the thing is, I don't think they'd ever just do a women's War Games match, to put it bluntly.
I agree.
Like, that's my fear there. So then I just feel like the women's division is going to get published.
Which is not what I was saying at all, by the way.
No, I know it's not.
That should be.
But I'm saying I know what they're like. And if they've got to pick one, they're going to pick the men's. It sucks, but that's what they're going to do. We've seen it. They still don't give the women anywhere near as much time. So that's why I do like having them both there. But I do understand your point. If rotating every year would make a lot of sense at the same time too, I just don't think that they would do it. But it's a difficult position we find ourselves in with it, because again, this year with the men's one, the Rollins injury, even if this was a one-off pay-per-view, even if this was different, it wasn't scheduled originally like this every single year, it was close enough that that event would have been scheduled and it still would have been messed up. Right. So this Rollins injury, whether it's at Survivor Series or another thing, we'd have the same issue. But Donnie's saying that he has a feeling a week from today, people will have a different opinion when they realize War Games will deliver. I think the match type will deliver. And to your point, Clark, this is the other thing I wanted to touch upon, the comparison to Blood and Guts. There is a large proportion of that WWE fan base who aren't sickos, who, if they watch the AEW Blood and Guts match, will turn it off halfway through because they feel it's too violent. Whereas they watch Survivor Series, they watch the WWE War Games, and they're comfortable with that level of violence. So I don't necessarily. So I think it's hard to compare the two, and I don't think saying that the AEW one is more violent means it's better. I just think it's almost a different genre, if you like.
All I'm saying, my actual point too was, and I understand they are different genres, right? But war is more violent than Blood and Guts, to be honest. Well, there's multiple deaths.
No, I'm sorry. Blood and Guts sounds more violent.
One. No, war.
No, Blood and Guts sounds more violent. They're both very violent, but Blood and Guts sounds more.
There is nothing in the world more violent than war, Ben.
Blood.
A fact. Not
war leads to Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts are a result of war. War
Exactly.
games
So
implies
AEW cutting
violence.
through the mud and going straight to the blood.
Either okay, that's neither here nor there. My point is, war games implies an upped level of violence. Donnie said it actually really well earlier. If you look at the war games matches over the years, you always have at least an injury or two coming out of that match because, and I'm not trying to take away from the WWE performers. This is where I get like roped into sounding like I'm negative because I'm really not. I'm not saying that they're not going to wrestle the matches hard or put themselves in situations where they can be injured the same way as the AEW talent. The presentation of the violence, I do believe that there's a difference. And just as you mentioned that there's a portion of the audience that turns it off halfway through, there's another portion of the audience that looks at it and goes, there's no way I get this in 2 weeks.
Absolutely there is. There's no denying that. Yeah. For some people, they'll prefer blood and guts. For others, it's war games. But I'm just saying, to your original point that you were trying to say, it came across to me like you were saying more violent, so better. When in fact, for a lot of fans, I don't think that is the case.
No. Better wasn't my point. My point was that it's different and it's a bigger threat directly to, not because it's better. Not because
I'm glad we have both, to be honest. I'd prefer them not to be in the same month, but I'm really glad we get both because it's two different approaches.
It's hard not to make the comparison,
especially when they're the same month.
It is when they're this close together. Recency bias is always recency bias. We know that,
It absolutely is. But that does, guys, bring us to the end of the show. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow. Thank you to Clark, thank you to Angie, and thank you to all of you guys who are watching at home. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy.